Atlanta, live from K.L.P Studios. Shish. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The swanky one, new K.L.P.
and
with your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.
Think we should do?
Long time coming, Kennedy, but I know. I'm ready. Let's do it.
This is my favorite rapper.
It is.
Oh, we back, y'all.
Woo! Yes.
What had happened was,
DJ Evelyn on the DJ.
In case you didn't know.
what had happened
Hey,
was,
Ow! Yeah.
yeah.
what had happened
Back in the
was,
studio, Evelyn Letitia and Kennedy Lucas,
Ladies
K.L.P.
and gentlemen, boys and girls.
what had happened was,
Ow! Oh, ow! Yeah.
what had happened was,
Woo-hoo! Yeah, yeah.
what had happened was,
Ladies and gentlemen,
Yeah.
boys and girls. We back in the most incredible way, man. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the ever-growing podcast.
Yes, it is.
This is
what had happened was,
Amen.
with your boy K.L.P. Kennedy Lucas, your humble,
Yes.
your blessful,
Y'all better give it up.
high-favored, healthy,
Yeah.
just had a birthday, getting ready for the summertime, but to my right,
Uh-huh.
it's good to have her back in the studio.
You better tell them, baby.
Because the wonderful,
Yes.
the talented,
Ooh.
the actress, the artist,
Uh-huh.
the artist. She got me one of these.
I finally
too.
remember to bring it.
She remembered to bring it. Evelyn Letitia's here in the building, y'all.
Yeah. What's up, y'all? It's so good to see
Yeah.
y'all. So good to see you.
You got a
Miss
round of
C.
applause here too.
Yeah.
Evelyn, it's not been too long. I ain't gonna say it's been long because it hasn't been that long, y'all.
Yeah.
But it feels good to have you back.
It feels good.
I know you've
Yeah.
been working, you've been filming, you've
I've
been
been-
doing some dope stuff here.
Yes.
But we always like to ask you, how you doing?
I am doing amazing. Like, since last time, we were in the studio, I got to film a commercial. It's
Yeah.
PSA
Hey.
down here in Georgia. Let me tell you something.
Hey.
I love my South Carolina roots, but and certain states, North Carolina, Georgia, y'all be treating your girl right, because I be booking a lot of stuff down here, right? And so I just did a PSA down here in Georgia with the National Fair Housing Alliance, and I'll let y'all know when that comes out, and I'll share it and everything. But it was an amazing experience. The crew. My co-partner who played my husband turns out he's in Greenville where I am. I said, oh, bet if I have I was
out to
like,
you.
if I have any auditions that require for a couple, I was like, I'm gonna go ahead and put it in.
Yeah.
And so we can audition together. So he's already agreed to that. But we look amazing on camera together. There were so many times we got compliments from the producers, like, y'all are doing a great job. Y'all look amazing on camera. Wow. So yeah, it was a dope experience. Like, shout out to the National Fair Housing Alliance.
Hey. Shout out to y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shout, they fed us good too
Oh,
on
I
set.
bet they did.
Oh, let me tell you something. They had
Something
it catered, right?
Yeah.
We didn't even spend a whole 12 hours. Like, we was on it. By the time we wrapped for the day, it was like right at 4:15. I had a call time at 8:00, and I got there at like 8:15 because of traffic.
Right.
But I didn't go on the shoot. Cameras weren't up to 9:30, so I was still in hair, makeup, and ready by the time it's time.
Gotcha.
And when we wrapped at like 4:10, my GPS said I was supposed to get home at 6:30. I got on the road. I drove about 40 minutes, y'all. That itis kicked me in my chest. I pulled over. I said, okay, I'm going to catch a little 30-minute, ain't nothing was waiting on me in South Carolina. I said, ain't nobody waiting on me at the house. Ain't no dogs need to be taken out. Ain't no goldfish need to be fed. I can rest. Child, I pulled over and slept for 2 hours.
Oh, listen.
I was knocked out. I found this little, it's like a condo or whatever, little place, and I seen these parking spots. They was free, and it was like one under a tree with a little bit of a lot of shade. I pulled up, let my windows down a little bit with a little so I can get some airflow.
Yeah.
Laid that seat back, and I was knocked out.
Oh, that sounds like a good nap.
I was so good. When I got home,
it
was by the time I woke up and got home, it was 9:30. Boy, I was supposed to be home like 6:30. I was
delayed.
Knocked out. But it was a good time, though. It was a good time. Like, what did you have going on since last time?
Last time, what we had? Birthday, 29 officially.
That much closer to the dirty 30.
I know. You text me like, hey, you almost there, Kennedy.
You almost there.
Birthday was good. We went to dinner and we've celebrated and, birthday wishes and what have you. Did a little bit of shopping too because I'm starting to beef up my shoe collection in house. And then we've work's been good. Shout out to ProMed Consulting.
Yeah, shout out to
they're
y'all.
a huge investor to us and helping running that company as well. Working out has been really good. I'm trying to get my gains back.
I be watching.
We had in Punta Cana in June.
Look.
Yesterday, believe it or not, me and my friends, we celebrated. We went to a place called Volcano. It's a bocce spot.
Okay.
And we were celebrating my birthday and then my buddy David. Shout out to you, David. His birthday is on Tuesday, so we kind of combined the birthdays together to celebrate. And then podcast has been good.
Yes.
A lot of people have been noticing. Oh, shout out to Monica Gray and Sky Love. Those are artists of mine that were working on some singles. Okay. I posted it today about a new song called Contain This that is going to release next week. So wait on that, y'all. And then Sky Love and we got a song called Dizzy. And they're going to be on my new album. Okay. We got to go to Miami to finish the album. That's kind of what we're going to Miami to do an album and film a movie. So it's a whole media stuff going on. Yeah. But it's been really, really good. Shout out to athletics, both men's baseball and softball. They're going to the World Series. I was able to produce the baseball side of things. So it's always good for them as well. But yeah, that's what's been going on, really. It's been nice couple of weeks of busy work, but it's been good.
Yeah, I've been seeing your stories and stuff on Facebook and IG, especially when you're in the gym. I watched one the other day. You were doing pull-ups, and I was like, baby, let me tell you something. Most of my strength is in my lower body. Like from roundhouse kicks to squats to leg press. Baby, these thighs, they pack a punch. Like that's what most of my strength is. I've never been, I punch, like I'm muscular up here to where I have the strength to like hold something or punch. I have like, you don't want to get punched by me. I'm just going to say that. But like as far as pulling myself up, baby, let a zombie be after us. I'm like, y'all save yourself because I ain't going to make it across this ball. I forgot
you play flag football. So
I'm like, a stiff arm, I got you. I can stiff arm the hell out of a zombie. But if I'm trying to climb on the wall and pull myself over and it's taller than what my leg can get up there, maybe just go ahead and count me out. Because I ain't been able to do the pull-up in I don't know how many years. I'm trying to, my goal is to get back to being, because at one point I could do at least 5. But I was watching you do them pull-ups, and I was like, Kennedy make that look so easy. I
mean, it was hard. I had to make it look good.
Them zombies would have been on, gnawed my legs off. Legs gone, like, just nubs flapping in the wind.
You want to know the same day, and I'll probably upload it later, but because I boxed, and I was boxing. And I'm doing it in, I was like, pop, 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 and I said, bam, and the bag fell. And 2 of the trainers that were there training their other people, those 2 ladies, they were like, what going on? I think I broke y'all bag thing here. I'm so sorry. I guess I punched too hard. Like, and then my guy Justin was like, oh dang, Kennedy, you getting strong, ain't you? Like, yeah. I kind of felt like, big dog. Like, hey, I can.
She don't want a puppet. She want a big dog.
So, but I had to make it look good for the cameras. But the pull up on the bar, that's hard to do. Yeah, very, very hard.
Like I could hold, like if you was to put me up there and say, hold your chin above the bar for a few seconds, I can do that. But like, baby, because y'all don't understand, this is a lot to pull up. Okay, this is like, imagine yourself trying to pull up and you got like 10 sandbags hanging on you that you trying to pull up with you. Oh, yeah. Man, she thick. And it's more solid than fat. So, like, baby, that's a lot to pull up. I got to do some more, bicep curls and stuff and strengthen these even more. Because I ain't gonna make it in a zombie apocalypse if I got to climb and pull myself over something. I'm like, y'all better have some chairs stacked up that I can just kind of run up.
Yeah.
Give me the crate challenge. Let me run up the crates and hop across. Cause
What would you do if you got cast to? Because they're doing season 3. Season 3 of The Last of Us. It is like a zombie.
I watched that. Oh my
it?
God, I'm so tuned in. And not to get no spoilers, but I was kind of. It caught me off guard. One of the main characters that was killed off, and like maybe 2 episodes ago. And I was just like, no, what?
Yeah.
Like, that just kind of threw me off. You know,
a lot of people were upset, and I'm like, well, you know, he died because it's based off video game.
Well, that's what one of my friends told me, and I've never seen the video, y'all. So I didn't know. I don't know what the gaming system, what the storyline is in that at all. But just knowing that he was one of the main characters in the show, I was just kind of shocked that he was gone. But the main girl, what's her name?
Ellie.
Yeah. She be working my darn nerves sometimes. I'm like, girl, you a crash out. And not only are you a crash out, you be crashing out with no plan of what to do once you crash out. Like, I'm glad that her friend that's with her, you know.
Oh, Dina,
Yeah, that she's the planner. She knows how to map stuff out and what's the best time. Because Ellie just be like, oh, that's what y'all, let's go.
Let's go.
I'm
Let's
like,
go
girl,
in there. Like,
sit your little crash out self down.
You're trying to get yourself killed.
Please sit down. She be working my nerves.
Yeah.
Like, as soon as she get a little bit of information, she be wanting to run. And it's so indicative of how some people are in real life. I'm like, y'all just, the level of emotional intelligence have some of y'all losing every time. Just losing because you be so just emotionally irate without thinking logically. And I'm just like, man, Ella be wanting me to come through that TV at her. I want to just
choke her.
Just choke your down. But yeah, I like that show. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good show. It's a good show. Based in, well, they have it in Wyoming and in Utah. They actually went out the country to actually film it. But this episode,
What had happened was...
whole episode was brought to you by
the state of
Louisiana.
Louisiana.
All right, so let me tell y'all something.
Yeah, tell them.
I kind of believe it when they say that the ancestors have spoken. I kind of have to believe it.
Yeah.
Now, if you guys don't know, Nottoway Plantation in White Castles, Louisiana, burned down mysteriously, what people are saying. Now, if you guys don't know, it is a plantation that they're using now as a resort. Well, they did use it now as a resort. What they say, about 64 rooms available for you to book, and you're able to stay for guests if you're traveling down to the White Castle area of New Orleans. And there's been stories about it. News have been covering on it. And of course, we're going to talk about it here today.
Yeah.
I think, ancestors have spoken. It's a plantation. So our ancestors have spoken and said, hey, it's time for that to be burnt down. Now, sources as of this recording, they're still working on why did it burn down or how did it burn down. We don't know how and why. But there's been a lot of memes out there. And I think you got
and just to give it because I'm on their website right now, just to give a little quick piece of what they got on their website as far as the history goes. Nottoway Resort, a AAA 4-diamond property and a member of Historic Hotels of America, is the home of the South's largest existing antebellum mansion, completed in 1859 and now stunningly restored to her days of glory. First of all, ain't restored no more. Secondly, what you mean days of glory? What were those glory days? Like when people put certain things like that, and as you said, the ancestors, people are saying the ancestors sit back and watch. So I've seen all these different memes and videos. There was one meme where it's showing Nottoway in the background burning, and it had Frederick Douglass and Harriet Tubman in the foreground just smiling, and then there's a video, and I shared this one. It showed it burning in the background, and there's AI generated table, like a cookout, and black folks was putting stuff on their plate, and of course, you make me happy, this you can bear. It was like a whole thing, of course, the spirituality of it. People are saying that the ancestors, the souls that were trapped there, the enslaved people's souls that probably were still on that plantation, were freed. So people were posting pictures of the blaze and everything, and circling images showing where there were certain spirits that they could see, those who are spiritually have a visible eye for that. We're talking about all of that kind of stuff. And unlike, there are still some plantations, that's up and thriving, but they don't thrive as resorts or wedding venues like Naughty Way was. Like a lot of the other ones, some of them don't even have furniture in them anymore. They're open space where they allow people to come in to learn, and it's more centered on the people who are on that plantation, the slaves that were there versus the slave owners and all of this, these artifacts that they left behind. It's more focused on the history of the people who are there. When you go to Naughty Way website, they have a tab that says history. When you click on the history tab, it mentions nothing about the slaves that were there. In fact, the only thing it talks about is the trees that were located on the plantation, the oaks. This says Naughty Way's grounds feature 16 majestic oak trees spread across 31-acre property. It says in 2015, 11 of the 16 trees were registered with the Live Oak Society Louisiana Garden Club Federation. Each were named after the Randolph children and can be identified on the grounds by the plaque at the base of each tree. It actually lists on the historical tab each tree and its name, along with the age of the tree, the trunk diameter, and the canopy spread. Nowhere on their website do they even mention the slaves, none of that. So I'm like, you telling me you can name the trees and tell how old they are,
no one cares,
but none of the people that were enslaved there. But you can rent it for a wedding venue, or you can book it as a resort. And then the trees that they have on it, the oldest one is 162 years old on the plantation, right? So whenever people talk about slavery, and especially those folks who like to say, get over it, it was so long ago. That was over 400 years ago.
And it
I
was
don't
not.
know. I don't know where y'all get this 400 years ago from, because it has not been 400 years,
Nope.
right? The oldest tree on this plantation, which is the largest antebellum plantation still standing since slavery, is only 162 years old. So I'm like, what? But anyways, let's go and see what our people's got to say right here. This is from KPRC, where it talks about the Fire Destroyers, the largest antebellum plantation.
What had happened was
the largest remaining antebellum mansion in the South is no more after a fire destroyed it. Naughty Way Plantation, located in Iberville Parish, just south of Baton Rouge, caught fire yesterday afternoon. Investigators are still trying to figure out that case and that caused the plantation, which was built between 1857 and 1859, is a total loss. The mansion is on the National Register of Historic Places and was being used as a resort with 64 rooms available for guests. The property has also served as a backdrop in movies, most recently being the set for the 2016 film The Magnificent Seven with Denzel Washington and Chris Pratt.
Love that movie.
what happened was
That movie's great.
Yeah. So it won't be a backdrop no more.
Nope.
Unless y'all gonna green screen it. So the question remains now is, what are they planning on doing? Are they gonna try to rebuild it? And it's like, if that wasn't enough answer for y'all to leave it alone and let it go. If that was,
I would say leave it alone.
because it's been a long time coming.
what had happened
Always
was
But
wondered.
a change did come.
Hey, vocalist right here. This vocalist.
Child.
I always wondered that why, and maybe I might know the answer to my own question, but like they don't mention the slavery part on their website, and it's as if folks are trying to erase slavery in our minds.
It's not as if. That's exactly what they're trying to do.
I
They're
figured.
trying to erase slavery. But this is the thing. The same people who are saying, oh, get over it, or you weren't around during that time, so like y'all descendants, y'all are wanting to hold on to a history that you weren't even part of. The same can be said, why you want to hold on to a plantation or monuments for, like, Confederate monuments, for instance, right? None of us were alive during the Confederate, during the Civil War, but you hold on to those monuments and you say it's a part of history and heritage, but yet you want to erase why certain aspects of the Civil War happened in the first place. It's like you said, it's not a matter of they're trying to. It's like a historical gaslighting, trying to gaslight people, the descendants of the slaves, like, oh, it didn't happen or it wasn't that bad. Miss me with that.
Yeah, it was bad.
Miss me with that.
Near genocide, if you ask me. Because if you go to Stone Mountain, you best believe they got like 5, 6 Confederate flags to
Child.
put up on Stone Mountain. That's why I don't go to Stone Mountain that much no more, because I'm like, nah, I can't do this.
But no, it's an intentional trying to erase the history. And this is a thing that people don't understand. You remembering the history, that is a first step on trying to reconcile it so that we can grow. But your denial of it is going to keep our country stagnant to where it's at. We're never going to grow, and we're steadily slipping backwards because you won't admit to what was happening, the atrocities that happened to a whole group of people that you're trying to erase. And I always say this, even if you want to bring it up, if people say, oh, slavery was too far back, let's look at the civil rights movement. Wasn't that long ago either.
No,
you're trying to erase that. That we have even more footage and pictures of, and it's because a lot of your family members are in the videos and pictures.
Yeah.
That's why.
I think that what I still hold on to it because maybe, definitely not my parents, but like maybe a little bit of my grandparents, my great-grandparents, and my great-great-grandparents, they've experienced going through civil rights movements. And I even hear stories from my God, her rest her soul, she told me stories about her grandma going through the slavery era, I would say, and then how the hard times were. And just to hear these stories of which we've come from and then our ancestors, I'm big on ancestry too. It is a big deal for us, I would say. And that's why we don't really forget about it.
Yeah.
And then when we see things like this mansion getting burned down, we're doing memes and we're cheering it up because it's like, well, this is what they did to us. So, we can't be like, oh my God, we're so sad that this plantation burnt down. Nobody's gonna be, ecstatic for it.
I haven't witnessed not one black person that I know personally or those that follow me on social media. I haven't witnessed anybody upset or sad that it burned.
The news anchor looked uncomfortable trying to report on it.
He like, let me get this right.
Let me get it right.
If you look too happy, they're gonna have something to say when we go to the meeting room later.
Yeah.
But
massive in size too. 164 doors, 200 windows.
Yeah, it's a big place.
Yeah.
And it's gone now.
I don't think it's gonna be rebuilt because of what it is.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter. But then again,
well, people have also questioned
private investors is
what
a thing.
Whether this a purposeful fire, like did somebody who owned this plantation did this purposely for the insurance money?
That's another good point.
Because just like when there's been riots and stuff, and there's a certain group of people that we all say, oh, they do this. But I remember when Black Lives Matter was marching and doing peaceful protests, there were many white students or white youth who were the ones actually throwing things and breaking glasses, and they was caught on camera. Yeah. But of course, the media was making it seem like, oh, black people were the ones doing this, when there were white people infiltrating into these marches and stuff, being the start of these riots. Yeah. So you got to ask yourself, was this purposely set by somebody that owns this place? Or like how people say, was it the ancestors that said, okay, the Great Awakening is here?
Yeah. I believe in that. I believe in ghosts and spirits too. I do. Thank God I haven't seen any yet.
Well, and then the doll, I don't know if you've seen the movies with Annabelle.
Yeah, I have.
For some reason, somebody decided that she needed to go on tour. And so they took her box from the museum, and then she's been on tour in different states, and she was in Louisiana not too long ago, and somebody said that, y'all, Annabelle black. She said, oh, I got something for you before I leave. And they said Annabelle set it on fire. I said,
they ain't far-fetched. That could have been it.
It said Annabelle set it on fire. So who knows? But,
oh my gosh.
Speaking of slaves, and, we look at today, at present, to say we are our ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes.
Let's move on over.
What had happened was...
to graduation, New Orleans. Talk to us about these graduates.
Okay. So I'm trying not to laugh throughout this next segment. I think graduation is the most wonderful thing for high school and college students. I say to a lot of students, Evelyn, that students that I speak to, they debate on not walking or not going to graduation. Go to graduation because, fortunately, I graduated in 2020 when we didn't have one. Now, in 2027, thank you. 2027, I'm graduating with my doctorate degree, and I am walking.
Come on.
I can't wait for that. I'll be 31. Can you believe it? 31 in 2 years.
Yes.
So I feel for people who are graduating. There's been a lot of things too. A lot of celebrities have been getting like honorary doctorate degrees this year, which is good, but you know, tax write-off is a thing.
I get that it brings attention to the university to get certain. But at the same time, if I'm a doctoral student and I know how hard that is with the research and all this kind of stuff that you got to do, and I'll be kind of pissed. I'm like, hold on, y'all just handing out doctorates?
And that's kind of where I'm feeling with, because I have a lot of friends who are also in the doctorate programs that are focusing on the philosophy and whatever program they are. My philosophy is organizational leadership, and that is hard work. It's a lot of research. It's a lot of writing.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm putting a lot of time and effort into it. And it's not to hate on celebrities, right? Because, hey, you're a celebrity. I get it. That's what sells. It's the market. I think it's a tax write-off, honestly. You know, you write things off. But it's just, dang, like, I wish I was a celebrity that could just hand it to me and I could just say I'm a doctor.
Well, I may have to take back what I just said, because I said some people work hard for their doctors, and some still do.
Yeah, some
But
still
what we have seen as of late is that a lot of college students are using AI and chat and stuff like that to write papers and stuff. I was like, hold on, what was this stuff when I was coming through school? When I had that 25, 50-page paper that I had to be in the library all day long typing and writing and researching. Y'all typing a prompt into an AI feature and it's writing a whole paper for you?
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Like, really? And not only that is they've come out with even more programs, because now professors are catching on.
Yeah,
they got programs to catch when somebody's been using AI, right? But now they got programs to override the programs that catch the AI. So that I'm like, wouldn't it just be easy if y'all just write your paper? Just
write it on out.
The amount of energy you putting into like getting around writing the paper, you could just have wrote the paper.
Yeah.
Like,
at most, when I use chat, not to write the full paper, but if it's a sentence that I just can't craft and I'm just having a struggle time, then sure.
Yeah.
But then I'm always able to write my notes, and then most of my papers is like based off my experiences, so I can't really ask chat to write maybe you can, I don't know.
Look, chat.
Write my own experience of a topic, right? So I think of those topics, but it's like a sentence. Like I can't write it right. I'm thinking of trying to craft it right, and I just can't get it. Then hey, let me use chat real quick.
And I think AI features come in handy at times, but there's still something, and maybe it's just the creative in me. There's still something very special about knowing someone's own ideas are put into written form. Like, it's their personal ideas and belief in their own research, that their like hard work, it came from them. There's something still very special about that. Because it's not just in schools that we're seeing this. We're seeing people using AI features to write scripts, just music and everything. I wrote a script with chat. So it's just, I understand how people can use this as a helpful tool, but for me personally, I still love to know that, this was crafted from your brain. Like, your brain came up with this a beautiful thing, That's no shade to anybody if you do use the AI, but that's just something for me personally. I'm like, you this came from you? Okay, what? It came from you? Okay. Right? But back to these graduates.
Yeah, the graduations. These graduates. Baton Rouge. Again, the whole episode's about Louisiana. Yeah. I died laughing about this. And I experienced I know the joy of graduating. It is a humble time. And let me see if I can play this video real quick here. Let me see. So this is music added on top of it, but these students, she doing a black, she like,
y'all, they is cutting up, they is jigging.
They doing the jiggaloo.
They jigging, they Harlem shaking, crip walking, two-stepping,
So it's like this first video
twerking.
Is like when they walk across the stage, they gotta pause and dance. Some dances are longer than some. Yeah. Right? Because they have so much energy. And you just imagine during the graduation where you're just sitting in line. And basically the video, and there's a second video that I'll show, or play rather, very small class. But just imagine going to a bigger high school with a big class and you sitting there all day trying to walk across the stage. your parents and grandparents and your sisters and brothers, they're enjoying the graduation, but they hungry, they tired, it's hot in the gym or convocation center. They ready to go on about the day and get something to eat and call it a day. Just imagine.
Look, I can understand it from the student's perspective and also as family, friends, or other students waiting their turn, like as spectators. I understand it from two different perspectives. One, as a student, this is something you worked for. Yes. You gotta like the amount of you don't know as a student until you're on that stage about to receive your diploma. The amount of late nights, tears, the friendships you've made, the internships you've done, all of this like stuff that's accumulated to this one moment. It's an overwhelming feeling. And people let that out, whether it's crying, whether it's dancing, just so I get it from that standpoint. On the other side,
I cried. But high school, I cried because we were going through some stuff, and it was windy, and then all my friends. Luckily, I went to Central. Shout out to Central, man. And then GGC's like down the street, so everybody from Central went to GGC. Okay. So I saw them again, but it was just to know that some of my good friends went out of state. They went to a bigger school. Some people moved. Those moments I get teary-eyed about because it's like, man, this is it. You know, everybody's about to. Same thing with college too. Like, now granted, we didn't have a chance to walk, but a lot of my friends from college, they all just
you
grew up.
You lose track because your lives are taken off.
Yes.
Like I said, on the opposite side of that, if I'm your family member, friend, and Stan. Baby, we done been in this graduation about 10 hours now. I'm hungry. I'm ready to take these. I'm ready to go. Yeah. Get your off the stage, all that jigging and stuff. Let's go. Like, it's one thing. It's like collectively at the end, the dean of students say, okay, now that everyone's graduated, let's party. And everybody start dancing at once. That's one thing. But for each person, like, you're called, and as you're walking across the stage, you're dancing and stuff. It's the same thing I feel about people representing their organization when they walk across. Yeah. Like, you know, some of the colleges, you'll see the sororities or fraternities strolling or doing their signature moves for their, you know, particular organization. All that's good. But not when you got thousands of students, even hundreds of students, and each person is doing it. You can easily turn a 4-hour, you know, graduation ceremony into 6 or 7. Who's sitting for all that? Yeah. Like, I think those type situations, your organization needs to have a separate ceremony for y'all as a collective, or either your families or have something separate. You can do all that at your individual. Yeah. But like when you got that many students, no, it's a no-go for me. Like I told you, I went to Clemson. And
shout out to Clemson.
Thank you. And at Clemson, the way our graduation ceremony was, we had 4 colleges. There was a College of Engineering, College of Agriculture, College of HEHD, which was what my major was under, which is Health, Education, and Human Development. And there was one more college, I can't think of the name of it right now, but those 4 colleges were our big 4, you know, that was on campus. The way they set us at graduation is those 4 colleges were set in alphabetical order. So out of all of those, HEHD was the 4th one in that order. So now you're sitting in the 4th order, and then within each college, they set us alphabetical order by major. I was a nursing major. N comes near the end. Yeah. And there weren't like majors that started with a Z or a W or a Y. So like nursing is literally like the second to the last at the end. And then within each major, then you come alphabetical order by your last name. So imagine, we had like 2,000, something like that, maybe more students that graduated with us. So I'm already in the last college alphabetically, and I'm in the nursing major alphabetically at the end of the line. So imagine if every student went across that stage dancing or strolling or throwing up signs. No, sir, no, ma'am.
You be in the back. Move on.
Y'all can tell me I'm a party poop or whatever. Get y'all off the stage.
Yes, please.
I mean, if I'm a family member in the stands, I'm like, get your ass on the stage. Like I said, at the end, if they want to turn up all at once at the end, do that. Yeah. But like the individual stuff, that could be so long. I just want to eat and take pictures. Yeah. Come on, y'all. Like the family here. We're here to take these group pictures with you.
Yes. I can't wait. And this is just high school, really, because you really don't see that in college necessarily. And then like with the grad school, you definitely, folks ain't let's walk. Let's do it.
Child,
let's move
like
on.
by the time you get to grad school and
We
stuff
get
like
old.
that, even people at the front, when they know it's like a lot more people to go, they'll get their diploma and keep on walking out the back. People did that for hours. They got their diploma and just kept on through the tunnel. They didn't even go back to their chair, just kept on going.
Oh yeah, they're like, all right, that's it.
You know, because depending on who the convocation speaker is too, you might not want to even hear them.
Yeah.
So you're like, let me go on about my business, you know?
Yeah, I think I've seen it too, where there's this one, I can't think of the college, but one college, they had I'll say politician, because I don't want to get too political, but a politician was speaking, and everybody said, nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
They got walked out.
They walked out. They were disappointed.
Yeah.
I did see, not to get off topic, I did see Taraji P. Henson. She was here in Atlanta, Spelman College. Spelman got a lot of ladies graduating this year. Yeah. That was a lot. So it was good to see her. Now, Regina Hall spoke at a graduation too, but when I heard Taraji P. Henson's speech, her speech was amazing.
I love Taraji.
I love Taraji.
I want to do something where she is like either my big sis or my mom.
Yeah.
Because our age difference, she's old enough to be my mom. Because I think Taraji may be 54, 55, which tracks. Because in real life, my father is 57 and I'm 37. We're 20 years apart. So even at 54, 55, that still pushes like 18, 19 years older than me. So, you know, and then with acting, you can age people down or up with makeup and all that kind of stuff, right? But I would love to be in something with her. And especially when... like right now, probably not so much because, you know, my face a little fluffy. But when I be like losing weight here and there, my face will shrink down some, and people swear I look like Taraji up in here. Oh, wow. So I'm like, I would love to do some work with her.
Yeah, Taraji. Hey, Taraji, if you're listening to the podcast,
yes,
you know, ladies of Spelman College, what's up?
But yeah, he's single, y'all. He's single.
I am single. So hey, I remember when I was in RA, we did this conference for RAs, and Spelman College was there, and us being college dudes was like, that's Spelman.
Yeah,
like they got some cool chicks over there at Spelman, you know. So
yeah, low key, I wanted to go there for grad school.
Yeah,
like when I was at undergrad for Clemson, I worked for this program called Clemson Emerging Scholars, and we would throughout the school year, we would take high school students down from the low country of South Carolina. We would take them to different, you know, colleges to visit. But during the summer, each class would come up to Clemson or whatever. But our seniors, our rising seniors, we would take them on a trip down here to Georgia. And they would have a tour day where they would tour Clark, Atlanta, Morehouse, and Spelman all in one day.
I have some friends that graduated from Clark too.
Yeah, and we would eat in, I think Morehouse is either Morehouse or Clark, Atlanta. We would eat in their dining hall. But like, that's why I kind of fell in love with every summer. I think I did 3 summers in a row, 3 or 4, and we would come down here, and I fell in love with Spelman. So I said, if I ever go back to grad school, I'm gonna go to Spelman. And I'm a adult geriatric nurse practitioner, but originally I wanted to be a midwife. But there was no midwifery program at Spelman. And I was like, and there wasn't one at Clemson either, but I ended up going back for the adult geri, because I was like, if I wanted to specialize further in that, then I could still do, you know, midwifery later. Yeah. But they didn't have my program. But I so wanted to go to Spelman, but they just did not have that program. I
think the only school I really wanted to go to was Full Sail, and that was in Florida. It was a film school.
You know, I never heard of that until 3 or 4 years pre-pandemic. Might be 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Yeah. Never heard of Full Sail. I ended up doing like a little short film thing with someone that I met. Yeah. And he said, "Oh yeah, I went to Full Sail," and then he also was a professor there. And like, matter of fact, this is his last year teaching there. Yeah. But I was like, "What is this?" He's like, "Yeah, it's a film school and everything." I was like, "Really?" I had never heard of it, but now since then, I've met so many people with Full Sail degrees.
Yeah, Full Sail. Shout out to I mean, I'm getting my doctorate. I might be dating students at Full Sail. Who knows? Sky's the limit, right?
You never know.
Yeah, but shout out to everybody that's graduated. Yeah. Again, they were dancing right out of their...
They was doing boots on the ground.
On the ground. And then they turned it into... Look, everybody started running and...
They started jigging, child.
They started getting it.
Somebody on the internet was like, "Baby, I ain't knew whether they was dancing at first or fighting."
Yeah. So, because it looked like...
There was a couple times where it looked like people was like, if ever there was a perfect time to get your lick in, while it looked like everybody dancing, pow, pow.
You bullied me in high school in this class, and
because I ain't gonna lie, when I be watching, every now and then I'll
funny.
watch a mosh pit, right? For like, Metallica, not Metallica, but metal music and stuff. They do like the mosh pit, and that's not my ministry. First of all, the mosh pit, because the first time you mosh on me, I'ma mosh you back.
Yeah.
But I be looking at that, and some of them, they look like they be sneak hitting people for real, like. They be acting like they just doing all this crazy stuff, but I be watching their face. They be looking for a target, and then pow! I'm like, no, y'all out there just y'all trying to fight people. Y'all ain't
no mosh pit, no raves. I don't. So some of my friends they love going to raves. I just can't. That sounds like a headache. That sounds like I just can't do it.
I've been to a rave once, but I didn't know it was a rave until I was in the rave.
Oh yeah, it's an experience for sure.
Somebody invited me to it, but they said it was a rave.
Yeah.
But I had no concept of what that was. I just thought, because they said, oh, it's a glow in the dark party, it's a rave. I said, oh, it's just a glow in the dark party. Like, so you know how you can get the glow sticks, the wristbands, and the necklaces and stuff. So I just thought it was just a glow in the dark, but the music was very it was like I'm like I said, oh, that's what this is, like that's what y'all mean when y'all say rave. And people started jumping and
head bopping. Like, you was like, I bet you were like,
I was like, oh, this different.
This different.
I didn't know what I was in for, but it was a fun time. I mean, I haven't been back to one.
No,
but it's not. It's just like when I think about going out for one, I don't really go to a lot of places that are super crowded. We on top of each other.
Nope, I don't.
I love a good grown and sexy lounge that's playing some R&B, jazz, funk, soul. That got some little bit of line dance, but there's no space for us to move. I do not like going places where I feel boxed in, and people. You excuse me, and mind you, I got stuff I got to rub past people to get past. Like it feels weird me going and rubbing my breast across your back. Now some of the men love it. Yeah, or you trying to get past me and you got to hold my head. Excuse me, Miss Lady. Excuse me. I feel your whole package on my back. Yeah. I'm like, bro, you got room to back up some when you scoot past me, trying to cop a feel. Like I just don't like those type things. And also, I know that most times when something happens and there's that many people packed into a certain space, people don't think logically first. Right. Like so, if something was to hit the floor really loud and it sounds gunshot. Most people's instinct is to take off running, and that's how people get trampled, or people don't think, oh, let me stop and see where the danger's coming from, so I don't run in that direction, or let me make sure there's actual danger before I take off running. People just run. And so I'm like, I don't want to be in a place where there's that many people, and when people take off running, it's worse to get hit or injured because of that. I don't like it.
Yeah, I've done that before where accidentally, like, excuse me, it did like, oh shit. It did the lady like, I was like, sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
Now let me say this: if you blessed in the front, because I'm blessed in the back, right? I'm not a ironing board that goes straight up and down. So part of me may touch you, especially if you blessed and you feel a little poke coming through. On you, like that. Next even made a song.
I love that song.
Step back, you're dancing kind of close. Hey. Like if you blessed in the front, okay. But there's some of y'all just purposely be trying to rub up on somebody's booty. Okay. Yeah. That's what it is. I'm like, if you don't get up off of me.
I've been rubbed up. Somebody, I remember it was in New York. And we were drunk with this girl. She was so drunk. She rubbed all up on my butt. I'm like, oh.
You was like, oh, girl.
Oh. I'm like, girl.
Oh.
White
don't
girl.
Did you say white girl?
Yeah.
Speaking of white girls, I don't know what it is. This has been happening to me since college. I don't know what it is, but for some reason, drunk white girls will find me out in a crowd.
I bet you.
Child, they come up to me. Oh my God, you're so beautiful. You're just so. Oh, you have curves, and then I was like, "Girl, get your hand on me." First of all, I like
where your man at?
I like my women like my skin tone. I like melanin, baby. You cute or whatever, but I like my type ladies. Yeah. They look like this, and that like this, right? But no, they drunk white girls always find me, and they always want to touch my face. Like, there's been so many white women I've had to be like, "Whoa, don't touch my face now," because they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're so pretty." I'm like, ma'am. Get your hands on my face, or if I have my locks down, your hair.
Don't touch. That's a big no.
Back it up.
That's a big no.
Back it up. But they always find me. I'm like, oh, I'm flattered. But don't touch me. But they always find me though.
Don't touch me.
I'm like, am I a drunk white girl magnet? I think I am. And it's been that way since college.
I feel like I am nowadays too, because I've had some crazy experience.
They want to rub on me, or either they want to start doing that drunk white girl dance that they all be doing. They be like, oh yes, oh
yeah.
See how I twerk, and nothing be moving but they thing and their shoulders. I'm like, what is you doing?
I remember one time, this was in New York. One white girl, she was like, I like you. You seem like you do it better. I'm like,
child,
what that mean?
If she ain't let her fetish just talk out loud.
No, it even was a fetish.
She want to see that big black and
stuff. She ain't want Jacob or Brandon. She wanted a Kennedy.
She said, let me see what you got down there.
Yeah. Man, but shout out to people in graduating. Shout out to New York,
shout out
man.
to y'all. Hand
clap, actually, yes.
The ancestors' wildest dreams.
Yes.
Graduation and jigging afterwards. Yes.
But you know what group of gentlemen that was dancing?
What had happened was
they were dancing their ways out of prison. Ain't they right?
Baby, let me tell you something. New Orleans, y'all been turned up. This is why we dedicated this episode to New Orleans. Not even New Orleans, but Louisiana in general. Y'all been turned up because y'all just had 10 inmates escape from jail, from prison. Let me go to it. Hold on. Let me talk about it. Because these
what
people,
had happened was
they got to hear what had happened.
Manhunt is still underway in the South after several inmates escaped from a Louisiana jail. The jailbreak shows the inmates running out of the jail and jumping down off a ledge. You see it right there. 7 of the 10 fugitives have been able to stay ahead of that manhunt for 4 days. Now, the Louisiana governor says there is no excuse for the failure at the jail that allowed violent criminals on the streets. ABC's Faith Abube has the latest.
A high-stakes manhunt underway for 7 inmates considered armed and dangerous, caught on this surveillance video breaking out of a New Orleans jail.
These are violent criminals, and they escaped.
Authorities say a total of 10 inmates busted out of the Orleans Parish facility in the early hours of Friday, taking advantage of defective locks on multiple jail cells. Stunning photos showing the getaway path, a hole behind the toilet with this taunting message, "Too easy, LOL."
A failure in the jail system should never have happened.
The inmates were on the run for at least 7 hours before jail employees realized they were gone. Officials taking even longer to notify the public. One of the escaped inmates captured right here in the French Quarter, the busiest and most important tourist hub here in New Orleans. It's only about 2 miles from that jail. Only 3 of the 10 fugitives have been recaptured. An internal investigation underway at the jail after the sheriff said her own employees may have helped in the stunning jailbreak.
We think this was intentional. There is much more than meets the eye.
And again, Stephanie, we're now in the 4th day of this investigation with 7 fugitive inmates on the run right now. The governor blasting the failures at this jail for allowing those violent criminals on the streets. In the meantime, he says he wants a full state audit of the facility. Authorities also are trying to incentivize more public help. They're boosting the bounty on each of those inmates' heads to $20,000 each.
What?
Stephanie, Faith Abube for us in New Orleans. Thanks so much. An urgent man.
Okay, 20,000 each. Now you gotta ask the question: to snitch or not to snitch?
Yeah, I know, because $20,000 in today's economy—that's a lot of money.
Baby, first of all, let me say that. Okay, 10 of them escaped. 3 have been captured. One of the ones captured, he got caught in the French Quarters. Right, one of the busiest tourist places, but cameras everywhere. You had a 7-hour head start, and you decided to go to the French Quarters. You're dumb. You need to be in jail. Hold on. Let me get my little...
The scissor?
Your dumb need to be in jail. Yeah. What kind of is that? Like, you had a 7-hour head start, and you go back to the French Quarters.
No, I would leave the state. Now, I'm not encouraging criminal activity, but I leave the state. Leave Louisiana.
Poor decision making is why you in jail in the first place, and you decided to go. And I saw the video where they captured him in the French Quarter. He just walking around like he a tourist. Sir, they got you on camera breaking out. They got you on the books in there with your mugshot there. They didn't know how you look.
Yeah.
Like, not trying to give anybody any ideas.
Yeah.
But if I were to ever break out of jail, best believe I already got how I'm about to cut my hair or dye it a whole different color. how I'm about to change clothes, what state lines I'm about to cross real quick. Like, let me tell you something. How quickly can I get to a border somewhere they're going to let me cross, you know? Y'all had a 7-hour head start, and you go to the French Quarter. Your dumb need to be captured. Just oh my goodness, like
that is the dumbest mistake. Like you said, I would cut my hair, dye it,
man,
probably bleach my skin just a little bit where it don't harm.
If you ain't never wore no glasses, I got glasses on.
I got glasses for you.
Every camera I pass by, I got glasses now.
Yep, wear a cap on it too. Cross state lines, border lines, you probably can't really get on a plane, right?
As a man, you should have went out and bought a wig.
Yeah.
Change up your whole shoe.
At this point.
You complain about putting a dress on? I would have had a dress on right then. They would have bought me another few hours to get ahead because they looking for men. They ain't looking for women.
Nah. I think, there is a saying, snitches get stitches, but like $20,000, I think somebody's going to rat some of them out. If they see
and that's the thing. They've already caught 3 of them.
3 of them, yep.
So you got to ask yourself, are these 3 going to stay silent? Or are they going to catch a plea deal? Because you trying to escape and did escape, you already added more time to whatever sentence you had.
Yeah.
So are you going to try to do some kind of plea deal where they don't give you extra time or take some time off so that you can get help in aiding capturing the other one? Mm-hmm. So you got to ask yourself that. Like if I ever were to, that's another thing. If I ever were to escape, I'm not including a whole lot of people in my plan. The more people you include in your plan,
the more it's going to fail, really.
Yeah, the more people you have to tell on you if they get caught. Like 10? First of all, it's already an act of faith that 10 of y'all got out, right? And now you're like, we splitting up.
Yeah. And I hopefully so, because, when you go to French Corners or a very, very public place, and I try not to say this too much because, these are our brothers, our black men, right? But when you've committed a crime and you're serving prison time, you are a dangerous person, right? So now you're putting more people out there in the world in danger, because I've seen the TV shows, and I know they're TV shows, but anybody would do anything to avoid the law, right? Let's say if that man got caught French Corners and he has a gun or a weapon,
don't want to go back.
Hey, hostage situation now, right? I'll kill this person if you come any closer, right? I know it's the TV shows do that, but like that is true. People are willing to do anything to not get caught, right? So it's just kind of a scary situation that.
And they said that they are armed and dangerous, criminals. Let me look them. If y'all are on social media and y'all watching our podcast, those of you who escaped, look at this face right here. Because if you find yourself in South Carolina, Georgia, remember this face. Do not roll up on this face. Because you don't have to worry about going to jail, okay? Your family going to be, 6 people going to be carrying you to your final resting place. Don't roll up on me, okay? I'm just giving you fair warning. Remember this face, because I don't want you to roll up on me.
Yeah, I box too, so.
Because let's just say, the thing about being thick, there's a lot of places conceal stuff.
Yeah, you right, though. You right, though. But like I said, we always encourage people to do the right thing. That's one thing I've told many people, I'm scared of many things, right? I'm scared of failure, scared of snakes, any sexual transmitted diseases, and I am scared to go to jail or prison. Yeah. So I thank Lord that I've made some good decisions in my life, so I ain't got to do none of that.
And you can call me a snitch, but if I see any of y'all,
that's $20,000.
I'm calling. I'm calling.
Hey, at this point.
This gonna be me on the line of the horn. Here they are. They back there. I see them run around the corner. Mm-hmm. Where I pick up my money at?
Where I pick up. Now the question is, before we wrap, is this money taxed on?
Child.
Right? You got to think about it, because a lot of people, when they win the lottery and stuff, that's been taxed. Now, will this be taxed?
Well, that doesn't mean that I'm going to have to turn in more than one then. So by the time I take taxes out, I still get a little bit more than 20,000.
Yeah.
Baby, look here. Call me a snitch. I'm trying to protect our community.
Yeah. From danger.
From you hoodlums who just broke out of prison. But no, why did taunted the people gonna put too easy over the whole?
That, come on.
And then you spelled two wrong, the wrong two. They put T-O, easy.
Yeah.
You needed an extra O, baby. See, just why you in prison now. Poor decisions.
Poor decisions. Yep. You're right.
It's like taunting, but it's only a matter of time before if and when they find the other 7, if the other 3 they've caught already, don't go ahead and turn on them.
Yeah.
And now that they've increased that bounty, because when I first saw it, it was a $5,000 reward. So now they're up to $20,000 per person. Now that their reward has increased, baby, they better not trust family either.
Let me tell you.
Because the wait times are hard. Their family, look, you bet your family in the house think you got a nice little bed to sleep in, a warm meal. Your family don't call the law on you. Next morning you wake up and the police right there at your door.
You be like, hey, cousin, why you snitched on me? Hey, man, I need to pay this bill, man.
Time's hard, man.
Time hard. I got kids to feed, man.
Time's hard. And another, it begs to ask the question of how much time each of them had. Because I ain't gonna lie. If I know I had like a 2-year bid, I ain't trying to break out and add to my time. Them 2 years go by fast. Yeah, Now, if you sitting in there and you got like a 25-year, okay, I can see you trying to get away.
50-year sentence.
Yeah, I can see. But
death penalty.
Anything less than 5 years, baby, what is you doing?
Yeah, just wait it out.
Poor decisions.
Poor decisions. Make a right decision.
Not poor decisions. Poor decisions.
I think it's a lack of education too. That's a hot take, but
that too easy. The way too is spelled could be
lack of education while you in there. Is my opinion. That's why I say to a lot of people, stay in school, do the right thing, so you ain't got to be doing none of that. So
I don't know if it's more education, book education, like book smart versus common sense.
Yeah, that too.
Because there's a lot of people who are very book smart and they're educated throughout the system of schooling, but when it comes to common sense, no, they don't have any.
They're just saying common sense. To some people, ain't so common.
Child, I've met a whole lot of educated fools. I'm gonna leave that there.
Yeah.
You are educated fool. I'm gonna put it on TV. You are educated fool, and I'm gonna have a finger point forward. You
put WHHW on the corner.
You an educated fool.
Well, that's going to wrap up the podcast here today. We hope that y'all enjoyed the show. But before we do our outro, guys, please check out our social media accounts.
Please do.
What Happened Was podcast on Facebook, WHHW Radio 1 on Instagram. That's where we upload our episodes and our clips. A lot of followers on Instagram and Facebook has been growing since last episode. We thank y'all so much for that because the growth is real. Believe it or not, some of the trainers at the gym, they're like, hey, you got a podcast? Like, well, yeah, I got several, but this is one of the main ones. And they followed, they listened, they loved it. So the growth is only going up from here. So
you can listen wherever podcasts are being played. So Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, all that, iHeart, you can listen there.
Pandora, if you got Pandora Plus or Premium, that's actually something new that I guess they're still kind of rolling with. Okay. But it's available on any audio platform you get your podcast from. So,
on that note,
we'll see you guys in next week's episode. We'll be back with all the funs in the lab, y'all.
Woo!
What had happened was...
I'm your host, Evelyn Letitia, and sitting to my left is my
K.L.P.
boy. Yes.
Kennedy Lucas.
What had happened was...
Shout out to Nolans.
What had happened was...
Louisiana. Yeah.
What had happened was...
Y'all got inmates on the loose.
What had happened was...
Well, why'd you went to the French quarters like they wouldn't recognize you?
What had happened was... Atlanta, live from K.L.P. Studios. Ever wonder what went down behind the scenes of our top stories?
Say what?
Then tune into What Had Happened Was, the only radio station that takes you straight to the source. From coast to coast, tune in now as we dive deep into the stories, the drama, and the moments that shape the culture with
The Swanky One, New K.L.P.
and
With your girl, Evelyn Letitia.
Live, Swanky 93.3 and the Heat 94.6 radio stations, or wherever you get your podcasts from.